If I was Aaron Glenn from the New York Jets, I'd walk into Woody Johnson's office and ask him, can you give me a few more years? Because we're going to tank next year and we're going to get the number one quarterback and the number one pick in the 2027 NFL draft because we're going to suck this year. Hello and welcome to the El Chappie Show. My name is Dylan and I'm your host. I would really appreciate it if you could just like that button. Please like it and also subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a lot of content coming out over the next few months. I really think that if Aaron Glenn could have an honest conversation. Now, I know realistically this is never going to happen because we all know head coaches will be on the hot seat, so they need to win now. But if he has a few more years grace, then he could speak to Woody Johnson and say, look, there is no really good free agent in the quarterback market. So why don't we stick with Justin Fields this year? Or go and get somebody like Jacoby Brissett and end up top 5 pick next year. If we have Justin Fields as a quarterback in 2027, we're pretty much guaranteed a top 3 pick, if not the number 1 pick. There is no quarterback in the 2026 draft for them. I don't believe Ty Simpson is the answer, and I do not believe that they're going to put a haul together to go up and get the first overall pick. If they did that, they are bonkers. So I think 2027 is the best market for them. What they don't want is to get someone like Kirk Cousins in, Kirk to do his magic, and for them to end up, I don't know, winning a few games and ending up outside the top 10, which potentially could happen. Because they have got really good defense. They also have Frank Reich in 2027. Now, he may not be the greatest head coach, but he is one hell of an OC. So he could get that offense rolling, but they need a quarterback, and there's no answer in free agency or the draft for the Jets, in my opinion. So 2027 is their year. They need to be playing for a quarterback. We're just looking for some key quarterbacks in the free agency for them today. We're going to start off with Jimmy Garoppolo and where potentially he could land. I said about a month ago that I believe that Jimmy Garoppolo could and should probably end up with the Arizona Cardinals. Mike LaFleur, it was his OC at the LA Rams. Mike knows him well. He's very friendly with Jimmy and Jimmy's family. This is a good stopgap for Jimmy. He is mostly a backup quarterback, and I think he is a backup quarterback in the league. However, he's still a very serviceable quarterback. Therefore, he can do a job in Arizona. We don't expect the Cardinals to do too much next year, so they're probably picking high again next year for a quarterback. That is the best market for them anyway. But in the meantime, they need to have serviceable quarterback that knows the system that Mike LaFleur wants to implement, and Jimmy Garoppolo is that guy. We got some stats on him. He's obviously went to college in Eastern Illinois. He's 34 years old, and he's actually been in the league for 12 years. He was a round 2 62nd pick back in 2014, and obviously we all know he played a few years there with the Patriots behind Tom Brady. What better spot there is? There is no better spot. That's the answer. So then obviously he had many years in San Francisco, and he did go to the Super Bowl with them. Didn't quite manage to complete the journey and to win the Super Bowl. Some people think he's just a game manager and that's it. I tend to agree with him. He did go to the Raiders. He had one season there. It didn't go that well for him, but he did end up in a really good spot with the Rams there with, Sean McVay, and obviously with that elite quarterback that they have over there as well in Matt Stafford. He didn't have much game time, obviously, because Matt Stafford's a tough cookie and he does not want to come out of the game. But in terms of experience, he has played 92 games. He has started 70 games. And as you can see, he's got 16,790 passing yards. And that is based on the off-season as well in the playoffs. There, he has 100 touchdowns. I would have expected slightly more, I think. And then he's got 58 interceptions, which is in line to what I thought he would have, to be quite honest with you. As you can see, he's not much of a runner with the ball. He's only got 265 rushing yards. And in fairness to him, he has 148 sacks. Those many sacks do take a toll on your body. But anyway, I do believe Arizona is a place for him. So mark this in your calendar. Jimmy Garoppolo will be, I believe, with the Arizona Cardinals. It makes the most sense, I think. So with Malik Willis, so as we just spoke about, if Jimmy Garoppolo goes to the Arizona Cardinals, it makes more sense that Malik Willis ends up with Miami Dolphins. I think the two spots for him will be the Arizona Cardinals, due to obviously the Green Bay Packers head coach is the brother of the Arizona Cardinals head coach. That would make sense. However, it also makes sense that he goes to the Miami Dolphins because their head coach and their GM are both from Green Bay, and they both probably know him better than anyone outside of Green Bay. Therefore, they know his strengths, they know his weaknesses. Jeff Hafley obviously went up against Malik Willis every single week during scout practice, so he knows Malik better than most. As a defensive coordinator, you will always have an eye on quarterbacks. You know and can identify very quickly what their weaknesses are and what their strengths are. So I think that will play to Malik's benefit if he ends up with the Miami Dolphins. I do believe he will end up there because it's such a weak free agency market. Everyone says Malik is the top player in the free agency market, and I'll bow down to the experts who keep saying that. We'll just have to see. I don't think he's got enough experience there. He's not played enough games. He has showed in a couple of games in Green Bay that he has potentially got what it takes, but it's still a risk. But he's still young. He's still 26, and yeah, he's had a few games under his belt, but not all that many. Obviously, 22 career starts, 22 career games and 6 starts, and he's got 1322 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 NFL interceptions, and then 405 rushing yards. So he is a dual threat. He can run the ball, and he's a good passer overall. There's still work to be done with him, I believe, but yeah, he is probably the best option in the free agency market. Still young, still eager, and also a head coach that knows all about him, his strengths and his weaknesses. So Miami Dolphins is the best spot for Malik Willis, in my opinion. So Kyler Murray, obviously he's now left or will be leaving Arizona next week. He's looking, allegedly, the 2 teams he wants to play for are the Colts and the Vikings. That's the teams he's identified, according to Pat McAfee, who said in his show that those are what he's heard are the teams that he wants. Obviously, we believe Daniel Jones is going to re-sign with the Colts. I don't believe any team's going to come in for him. So that means Murray might be going to the Vikings. Is he a good fit? I mean, again, he's a dual threat, but he's not a prototypical guy. He's not the type of guy that Kevin O'Connell normally goes with. I personally think that someone like Kirk Cousins would be a better stopover or stopgap, as many would say. But Kirk has also been there and taken to the playoffs, but wasn't able to take them over that threshold. So is Kirk the guy? Or will they decide, you know what, we're going to offer Daniel Jones a big contract so that Kyler can then go to the Colts? That is another way of thinking about it. I'm not sure JJ is the guy there. Kyler Murray comes in. He offers a lot of experience. He does offer his legs as well. how much has he got left in the legs? I think he's probably still got a fair bit. He's still 28 years old, but because he's run so much and been, you can see he's been sacked 197 times over the course of 88 games. That's a lot. That takes a lot out of your body. So I don't know. I don't quite see the fit, but I believe a lot in Kevin O'Connell. So if anyone can work their magic with him, it is him. So Kyler there, why not? He's got some great stats. Obviously, some of it's padded out because of garbage time, but you can see he has started 88 games, which is quite a bit when you can consider that against Jimmy Garoppolo. He's 121 touchdowns, 62 NFL interceptions, and then on top of the 20,500 passing yards, he has over 3,000, nearly 3,200 rushing yards. He can work his magic with his legs. His legs get him out of trouble a lot. As I say, if anyone can get him going, I think it's Kevin O'Connell. So this is what everyone keeps saying. He's going to the Minnesota Vikings. I didn't see it. I still don't see it. However, again, when you listen to all these rumors going around, you got to take note to them. So it'd be interesting with him ending up with the Vikings, and yeah, I hope he does good things there. Anthony Richardson. I've not heard any of these rumors. I've just put him there myself. I think the two places I said that I would want him to go to are the Vikings and the Rams. And the Vikings not to become a starter, but to sit behind a veteran and to be in a room with JJ McCarthy so he can learn. That's one option. The other option, the more sensible option, is if Garoppolo is going, or if Jimmy Garoppolo is going to the Arizona Cardinals, the LA Rams need a backup quarterback. And Anthony Richardson, with all his faults, is still super talented. Super, super talented. And a fresh start, nice weather, Sean McVay's system, no pressure to start. This could be a really, really good place for him. I think he could learn a lot from Matt Stafford. He is somebody that needs a mentor, I believe. If you remember a couple of years ago, he tapped out of a game. He'd had enough, tapped out, which did not go down well with the fans or with the players or obviously the coaches or, I imagine, the GM, Chris Ballard, and his team. To sit behind someone like Matt Stafford, see that toughness in Matt Stafford, see how he plays through all those injuries, that might rub off on him, and that might be a good influence on him. Again, a new start would be beneficial for him. He's super talented. His arm is elite, absolute elite. He has started 15 games, but he's played in 17. He's had 2,400 passing yards. A bit troubling, 11 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. Obviously, that's not a great start. Obviously, you can see his legs, 634 rushing yards and sacked 21 times. He needs a fresh start. He needs to sit behind a veteran. And I think the LA Rams is the best place for him. That's where I'm putting him anyway. If you've made it this far, then congratulations. You deserve a medal for that. Take a moment, please, if you haven't done so, to like and subscribe. Subscribing will really help the channel to grow. Also, liking it will also help it to grow. Push it out, share with people, and come back, watch all my videos. Thank you very much. Leave a comment in the comment section as well. I always try and respond. Thank you very much.